again! For those of you who joined us last week, we discussed the importance of the Berkeley cut and how it is a useful way to reset the disc and the stall count when the handler is in trouble on the sideline. Today, what we're going to talk about is a bigger play that uses the Berkeley in a creative way. I'm going to call this the Vaylen Zipper because Vaylen taught it to me. And what it is it is an end zone play that will ensure that we cache every one of those discs that we get, 10 yards out of our end zone and are one pass away from making a point. To begin with, when we approach the end zone, it's very important that we get into this orientation, into this arrangement. Again, we are the black circles, the opponents, the defenders, are the red X's, the disc is on the sideline, it's the blue thing here, and the force is away. The configuration that you see will be familiar to you as the vertical stack, which we often use in the end zone. As we approach the end zone, it's very important that the cutters get into this formation. We'll still keep 3 handlers in a horizontal alignment, and the 4 cutters will line up in a vertical stack. The important thing with the zipper play is that that vertical stack is through the center of the end zone in a straight line, no matter where the disc is. In the past, you'll remember that our vertical stack might angle out this way to create more space if the disc is on the sideline. In this version, it's always just going to be a straight up through the center stack. The other thing is, you want to make sure that it's pushed as far back, as deep as possible, so that even the person right at the front has enough room to run in and still be in the end zone. Okay, so a golden rule of the zipper end zone play. The cutters are only to cut when the disc is in the middle, when it is with the middle handler. If it's on the sideline, they basically just stay still. They can look poised and ready to move at any moment to engage their defender, but it's very important that they don't start their cut. Why is that, you ask? Because when the disc is on the side, the handler's goal is to immediately reset it using a Berkeley cut. When the disc is on the sideline, as it is here, the middle handler will initiate the Berkeley cut. One of two things will happen. They will cut up the field, and because none of the cutters have moved and they've kept the space open, we'll either get a quick pass in there for a point, or more likely, the defender will be loath to give up that cut into the end zone and will guard it very aggressively. So the defender will probably take off as soon as they see that cut start happening. That means that after freezing the defender, making them commit to taking away the up-the-line pass, the middle handler will cut back to the same spot, and receive the disc in the middle, which is where we want it. Now that the disc is in the middle, it's time for the cutters to do their thing. Here is the extremely structured and very predictable yet effective system of cutting that will happen. So let's get rid of all this for now. And let's suppose that the defender has re-established the force in the middle of the field. Still a force away. As you can see, the defenders are doing their job well. They're positioned on the away side of the person they're marking, which means in order for this person to get the disc, they'll basically have to run through their defender to get to the open side. So the defenders are doing a good job. Here's what we need to do. The first person in the stack will cut to one side or the other. They can decide which side. It'll usually be the one that the defender is giving them, in other words, the home side. However, if this guy, the person at the front of the stack, decides that he or she is going to cut to the home side, they're going to start by faking out to the away side. It's just a very standard thing to do. You fake out one way and then cut across the other way. The second cutter, so the person second in the stack, is going to wait until the first person finishes their fake, plants their foot on that side, and starts running in. Once they start running into the home side, this person will follow. So as the first cutter is coming back in this way, the second cutter is going to start a cut out that way. The defenders will think, oh no, we're being overloaded on that side. But, sneakily enough, just as the first cutter had made their fake, the second one will also plant, cut back into the other side. Right away, you've got a cutter open on both sides, with a pretty good chance of getting open. One or the other might get open. Supposing they don't get open, that's not a problem. That's totally fine. And in fact, if the defenders do their job, they probably shouldn't get open. The cutters will immediately loop back around and get back in the stack at the back. While this is happening, so now that these two cutters have cleared out, let's move them, and taken their defenders with them, that has created a very open lane for the third person in the stack to just walk forwards. Their defender will be guarding them on the side because there are two people in front of them, and they'll have a very good chance of just cutting straight in and getting the disc. Again, if this person makes that cut straight in and does not get the disc, they also loop back in and get back into the stack. What about the fourth person? The guy right at the top there. That person does not do anything. That person waits at the back of the stack. After everyone else is cycled through, they basically move forward to re-establish the front of the stack. So this person would now also walk in and get back in position at the start. Everyone else will stack up on them. If everyone runs through the zipper and it hasn't worked, no one's got the disc, it's really not a problem. The handler will recognize that, you know, what we hoped happened didn't happen, and will simply reset it back to the other handlers. Supposing that happens, supposing this handler now swings it back out across to this side, is back on the sideline. Again, the cutters re-establish the stack, stay in position, and don't move. The disc is back on the sideline, that means we just start the same thing again. We do another Berkeley, either score up the line or get it back into the middle, and then start the whole thing over again. The great thing about this is we can be extremely patient, we can run through the zipper as many times as we need to, and you're constantly creating opportunities to score without clogging each other. It's such a predictable system where everyone has a very set role, and I think it'll be pretty effective. So let's give that a shot. There's a few other variations, a few other things to consider, but we won't go through them here because this is really long and many of you are probably asleep right now. See you next week!